We're backstage at Lasso with George Birge on Pure Country. How
What's
are you?
going on? I am as good as I have ever been. I am first time out here in Montreal, first time at Lasso. Perfect weather. Everybody's been so cool to us so far, and I can kind of just feel the energy buzzing today like it's going to be a crazy show tonight.
You can tell. It's going to be crazy. How many times have you been to Canada? Like a handful?
Yeah, I would say probably like 4 times.
Okay.
But it's been kind of just all over the place. This will be by far the biggest thing we've gotten to do out here.
Well, I'm so excited for you. This is going to be so much fun. We're gonna get right into this because I have a lot to ask you.
I'm ready.
We're going to start with the Jason Aldean thing.
Absolutely.
So your song, Mind on You, Jason Aldean was going to cut that. And then you were like, I don't know the actual story, but this is what I heard. You were like, can I have that back?
Yeah, and maybe the wildest move of all time. In 2020, the world kind of shut down. I had been chasing the artist thing for a while, and it just, I didn't know what I was doing. And so I ended up asking out of the record deal that I had, and I decided I was just going to be a songwriter. And so I wrote Mind on You, and the day I wrote it, I knew we had done something special. It just felt like a different level of song. And I didn't really have a way to put it out. And so I ended up sending it to Jason Aldean's producer, and I was like, hey, what do you think of this? Well, next day I get an email with like his whole record label on it, just being like, don't play this song for anybody. Jason wants it for his new record, which at the time was the biggest thing to ever happen to me. I'm
oh my God.
Jumping up and down, thinking my world has changed. This is my big break. I thought that was my path. And fast forward about 6 months, I started posting some of my own music on social media, and I had some stuff just start going crazy viral, and all of a sudden I have every record label in town calling, asking if I'm free for dinner. I end up signing my own record deal, and I'm on the phone with the head of the label, and he was like, hey man, we're so excited to work with you. We love the music we've heard, but that song that you were going to give to Jason Aldean, you need to call him and ask for it back because it's going to be your first single and it's going to change your life. And I definitely had a little panic at first because you're calling the entertainer of the year and asking for your song back.
Like, hey, it's me.
I know I said you could record this, but he was the coolest guy of all time. He was excited for me. He was excited for my opportunity. Gave me the song back, and it ended up changing my life. Became my first ever #1 song in the States, and has opened up a lot of doors for me here.
Well, that's your lesson. Don't be afraid to ask for things back.
Well, I don't know if I would copy what I did. It was definitely a long shot, but I'm very thankful that it worked out like it did.
Well, congratulations on that song. It's a great song.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I'm very happy for you.
It's been wild just seeing people singing it back and
Yeah.
seeing crowds get bigger, and it's all stuff that we're not used to, And I always wanted that #1 plaque on my wall, but just the rest of the stuff that's kind of come with it, being on a tour bus full time now and showing up and the bars not being empty anymore, being sold out clubs and being invited on these massive tours, just all these things that I never in my wildest dreams imagined are starting to come true, and it was all kind of started with that song.
Do you kind of have to pinch yourself sometimes? Like, okay, I'm
Every
awake.
day.
Yeah.
Every day. I mean, I did last night at the show we played. I did this morning, waking up here on a tour bus and knowing that we're going to get to play tonight. It's every day feels like a blessing right now, for sure.
I love that. I love this interview. Okay, this is also really important. I found a picture of you. I didn't find it. It's on his Instagram. But I did some digging. I found this picture. It's you and Post Malone. Okay, are you friends?
I wouldn't say we're close friends. He's been so cool to me, and I was lucky to meet him really early in his career. I was on tour with Toby Keith at the time with my old band, and Post Malone came out because he was a Toby Keith fan. And this is pre-face tat Post Malone. This is a really old picture. I think he had just put out White Iverson. And this was before I could grow a beard or whatever excuse this is for a beard. So I'm baby face too. And it's a picture of me and Post Malone and then Toby Keith with a sunglasses tan that makes him look like a raccoon. It's a pretty epic picture, actually. Toby had been playing golf all day. But anyways, we went up on the bus and played guitar together until 4 o'clock in the morning. One of the coolest nights of my life. My agent actually tapped me on the shoulder that night. He's like, hey, man, he said, before you walk up, just want you to know Post Malone's here. This is probably 8 years ago. My first question was, who's Post Malone? I know now who Post Malone is. Obviously, he's taken over the world since then. But he immediately shocked me then just with his knowledge of country music. He was playing Alan Jackson and George Strait and all these songs. So when he put out this country record just now, I had known that he had been a country fan for a long time, and I think that's why that record is so good.
Yeah.
But it was a pretty special night. I ended up walking off Toby's bus at about 4 o'clock in the morning, and my hotel was at a Holiday Inn, and I think they had 5 Holiday Inns in town, and my phone was dead, and I had to have the Uber take me to every hotel in town until we found the right one. But it was worth it.
It was totally worth it.
It was a great night, yeah.
So we have to follow that up, of course, with would you ever collab with Post Malone if the opportunity presented itself?
100% I would. Okay. I think he's a once-in-a-generation talent as a songwriter. I think he makes you feel something. I think he knows how to put words together in the way that people can relate to. And I just love that he's embraced country music the way that he has. Country music is obviously my favorite genre, so I'm very honored to have him here. And he's making magic in it, so I would love to do something with Post one day.
And just one follow-up question of that. If it wasn't Post Malone, who would your dream collab be?
I think my dream collab, especially after our history together, would probably be Jason Aldean.
Jason Aldean,
yeah,
okay.
He's been so cool to me. I love the rock and roll influence that he's put on country music, and I've taken a lot of that and made it my own and my own sound. So that's one I'm kind of trying to talk into existence.
Jason Aldean, if you're watching this,
come on, brother.
You got to collab.
It's time.